The wind swept through the sleepy town of Moonvale, carrying with it the chill of the late autumn evening. Nestled in the foothills of the Gilded Peaks, the town was known for its quiet charm. Cobblestone streets lit by lanterns, cottages adorned with ivy, and the distant hum of waterfalls cascading down the mountains. But tonight, the tranquility was broken by a sense of unease. Kaela Everstride adjusted the straps of her quiver as she returned from her evening patrol. The forest surrounding Moonvale had been restless lately. Strange sights and sounds, trees with silver leaves shimmering as though they breathed, footsteps echoing when no one was there, had become the talk of the town. The rangers had dismissed it as the imagination of farmers and merchants, but Kaela had seen enough to know better. Tonight, however, seemed quiet, almost too quiet. Kaela felt the familiar weight of her bow against her back as she approached the village square. The aroma of freshly baked bread lingered in the air, mixing with the faint scent of wood smoke. She was about to head to the tavern for a warm drink when a flash of light illuminated the sky. The light erupted from the edge of the forest, a ghostly green that sent shivers down Kaela's spine. It spiraled upward, splitting the sky like an otherworldly beacon. The earth trembled beneath her feet. She broke into a sprint, her boots crunching against gravel as she headed toward the source. Villagers spilled into the square behind her, murmuring in fear and wonder. But Kaela didn't stop. She reached the forest's edge, where a clearing opened up like a wound in the land. In the center of the clearing, a rift had formed. A swirling tear in reality hovered above the ground, its edges crackling with energy. The air was thick with an otherworldly hum, resonating deep in Kaela's chest. Shadows moved within the rift, figures that seemed almost human but were shrouded in mist. And then they emerged, twisted forms of darkness. Shades crawled out of the rift. They moved like smoke given life, their eyes glowing with an eerie red light. Kaela instinctively drew her bow, knocking an arrow as her heart raced. The first shade lunged at her, its movements unnaturally fluid. She released the arrow, and it struck the creature's form, dissipating it into a cloud of black mist. But more came, spilling out of the rift like a flood. Kaela's mind raced. She couldn't take them all on alone. A voice cut through the chaos. "Stand back!" Kaela turned to see a figure emerging from the shadows of the forest. He was young, with pale silver hair that caught the light of the rift. His eyes glowed faintly, not unlike the shades, but his presence felt different, calm, yet powerful. He carried no weapon, only a staff etched with glowing runes. "Who are you?" Kaela demanded, her voice steady despite the mounting fear. The man raised his hand, and the runes on his staff flared to life. A wave of light swept across the clearing, pushing the shades back toward the rift. For a moment, the creatures hesitated, as if held at bay by an invisible barrier. "My name is Soren Brightwind," he said, his voice carrying an otherworldly resonance. "I'm here to help." The battle raged on, the clearing awash with the light of Soren's magic and the green glow of the rift. Together, Kaela and Soren fought to keep the shades from advancing further into the forest. Kaela's arrows flew true, while Soren wielded the energy of the spirit realms itself, creating barriers and striking down the creatures with waves of force. But the rift showed no signs of closing. The more they fought, the more shades emerged, their cries echoing like the wails of lost souls. "We can't keep this up!" Kaela shouted, her breaths coming in ragged gasps. Soren nodded grimly. "We need to seal the rift, but first..." He reached into a satchel at his side and pulled out a small crystal. It pulsed with a soft blue light. "Hold this." Kaela hesitated but took the crystal. As soon as it touched her skin, she felt a surge of energy course through her. Her vision blurred, and for a brief moment, she saw beyond the mortal world. She saw the spirit realms, a swirling expanse of light and shadow, filled with ethereal forms. It was beautiful and terrifying all at once. "You're a seeker," Soren said, his tone reverent. "I've been searching for someone like you." "What are you talking about?" Kaela demanded, her grip tightening on the crystal. The energy within it seemed to resonate with her very being, as though it recognized her. "There's no time to explain fully," Soren said. "But you have a connection to the spirit realms. You can help restore the balance. We need to gather the echo shards to repair the veil." Before Kaela could respond, a piercing shriek erupted from the rift. A massive shade emerged, larger and more menacing than the others. Its form shifted constantly, as though it couldn't decide on a single shape. Soren's expression darkened. "Get back. This one's different." But Kaela didn't move. Something inside her stirred, a sense of purpose she couldn't ignore. She raised her bow, drawing an arrow with a glowing tip. The crystal in her hand seemed to channel its energy into the arrow, making it shine with a radiant light. The shade lunged, its clawed hands reaching for her. Kaela released the arrow, and it flew straight and true, striking the creature in its core. The shade let out a guttural roar as it dissolved into mist. For a moment, the clearing was silent. Then, the rift began to shrink, its edges folding in on themselves. The air grew still. Kaela lowered her bow, her hands trembling. She turned to Soren, her mind racing with questions. But before she could speak, her mark, the mysterious symbol on her palm, began to glow faintly. Soren looked at it, his expression unreadable. "The ancients chose you," he said quietly. "You're the key to saving both our worlds." As dawn broke over Moonvale, Kaela stood at the edge of the forest, gazing at the spot where the rift had been. The villagers had returned to their homes, shaken but safe. Soren stood beside her, his staff resting against his shoulder. "I don't understand any of this," Kaela admitted. "Why me? I'm just a ranger." Soren smiled faintly. "You're more than that. The ancients don't choose lightly. You have a strength within you, even if you don't see it yet." Kaela looked at the mark on her palm, its glow now faded. She thought of the spirit realms, the shades, and the rift. Her quiet life in Moonvale was gone, replaced by a destiny she didn't ask for. But as the sun rose, casting its golden light over the forest, Kaela felt a spark of determination. The echoes of the ancients called to her, and she knew she couldn't turn away. "I'll do it," she said finally. "I'll help you restore the veil, but you'd better have answers." Soren's smile widened, and for the first time, she saw a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "Then let's begin." And so, Kaela's journey as a seeker began, her path intertwined with that of the spirit realms and the echoes of the ancients. The world would never be the same. The echoes have stirred, and the veil weakens with every passing moment. Kaela has taken her first steps, but the path ahead is fraught with shadows and secrets yet untold. Will she uncover the truth of her destiny, or will the forces of darkness consume both realms? Stay with her as the journey unfolds, and the spirit realms call out for salvation. The adventure has only just begun. Dive into the next chapter to witness Kaela's growing bond with Soren and the trials that await them in their quest to restore balance.